Hey guys, good evening. Just want to welcome you again to What's in Your Hand Woodworking. For this evening project, what I'm actually doing is I'm going to use these boards. This is actually spartle or spartle beech wood, which is quite dense. So I'm going to use this, and this is actually a piece of sapele or mahogany, and I'm going to use this board to make an end grain cutting board. So what I'll be doing today is showing you the preparation and actually the first glue up. So I'm going to cut this down and split it in two. Then I'm going to see the measurement if it reached actual size. Then cut this next piece. Run this through my thickness planer, cut it to the actual size, and then do the first glue up. With this one, I'm just going to run it through my thickness planer, cut it to the actual thickness of the cutting board, and then when this is finished, I'm going to cut this one into the same size and then mix it to see what type of pattern I will get from this board. So as I said, the first thing I'm going to do is to cut this down to its thickness. So let me see how many inches I can actually get from this board. So this is saying that I can get 3 3/4 inches. So let me cut this down to 3 3/4 inches. 3 3/4 inches thereabout, yeah. Let me bring up the blade to the actual thickness of this. That should be good enough. Then I'm going to cut this. Since I'm in the business that I don't really believe in wasting board, I'm going to put this aside. Then one day I'll find something to do with it. You will see what I actually do with this piece of board. So there you go now. So I have this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it to the same length as this. Let me get the measurements. 19 inches. Yeah, so this is actually the same thickness that I'm going to use. So now I'm going to cut this in two. Cut this board in two. Should have my pencil. Yeah. Inches. She's 22 inches. This is actually the first stage. I think I might bring it over to my thickness jointer. Good evening again. Just want to welcome you to What's in Your Hand Woodworking. If you're joining me for this live, you can hit the like button if you have not yet hit the like button, and if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, you can subscribe to the channel. That's one way how you help this channel grow. And this is one of the challenges that I have working without a shop or a physical shop where you can have all the tools at arm length. So I will be using my handsaw to cut this board, which is really a good physical exercise. Every now and then I use my hand tools to keep myself in shape. I definitely see it as a fun way of doing things. So I'm going to use this to cut this. Yeah. Not getting a good good stable pressure. Let me do it over here. Yeah. So I said this is just making the first preparation for this cutting board, which is going to be a huge cutting board. So far I've made a couple cutting boards. It seems to be one of the products that as a woodworker it is easier to get a sale for. Yeah. It's starting to feel like it would have been best if I got my miter saw to make the cut. So let me check this out to see how much more I am going to be in need of to actually bring this up to the 12-inch mark. Let me see. Also basically, okay. So this, let me use my knife to make this mark. Use my knife to make this mark. This is how much? 12 and a half. So I need that to be 12 and a half right here. So this is 12 and a half. And just seeing that idea just really came to my mind. I think this one would work out to be a little bit different, but I'm going to do it anyhow. I think I'm going to run these boards through my thickness planer and then rip these down into inch and a half thereabouts strips, inch and a half strips, and then glue them together. So let me get my thickness planer to get this board, or better yet, let me resaw down this board to the actual thickness like this. Make life a little bit easier. This is one way of getting things done when you don't have a bandsaw, in terms of using the table saw to do resawing, but it definitely works. So that's one way of doing things. So I'm just getting a push block. So I'm going to rip this down, and then I get my thickness planer. Just want to say thanks, Maurice, for joining in the chat. Nice to have you with us. And thanks also, I'm not sure if I can pronounce that name, but nice to have you with me in the chat. So I'm going to resaw this board. Yeah. So just ripping it down. Next I'm going to pass this through my thickness planer. Let me get the thickness planer to pass these boards through to get them at the same thickness. And then I'm going to come back to my table saw. Move this out the way. This is a process that I like doing. So as I said, this board consists of some call it sapele, but I know it's also a species that is related to the mahogany family. So some call it mahogany. So I'm going to get my thickness planer now, which is a bit heavy, because this is like what I think the weight for this thickness planer is very heavy, but yeah, but I'm glad that I have it. So let me see if you're seeing what I'm doing with my thickness planer. So let me put the camera a little bit closer. So now I'm going to pass these boards through the thickness planer to get everything at the same thickness. Then I'm going to go back to my handsaw, my table saw. Let me close this door. Yes. So first let me adjust my thickness planer to this. Right. Okay. So let me. Okay. Ready? It's gonna be a little bit noisy. These that are partially ready for the next phase of the build. So what I'm going to do now is run the other piece through the thickness planer. This is a more thicker piece, so I'm going to get this through the thickness planer. Yeah. this. Yep. So now I have all of these. Yeah, Mikey. I'm coming. Give me 10 minutes. Yeah. So now that I have that out of the way, let me move to the next phase. Taking in this back. Bringing in back this thickness planer. Yes, I was about to tell you how much this weight because I thought I saw the weight of this thing. This is like going to the gym. The gym. I saw the weight on it somewhere. Yes, believe you me, this thickness planer weighs 92 pounds. It's very heavy. It's like carrying a dead man's coffin. But guess what? You have to do what you have to do. So it has to come out, and then it has to go back in. Yeah. So this is the next phase that I'm talking about, where I'm actually going back to the table saw again. So this is a back and forth dealings. So going back to the table saw. Let me line up back there. Table saw again to show you what I'm doing. Just want to give a shout out to those who are in the chat and to those who actually give a thumbs up to the live. Again, let me introduce myself. My name is Kenroy Thompson, or Kenroy, or Kenny, whatsoever I'm being called. So for these pieces, I'm going to rip them down to 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches thereabout. Yeah, I'm going to rip these pieces down to 1.5 inches. Let me get my. Then I'm going to glue up these. So I'm going to rip these one down to 1.5 inches. These 3 pieces that I'm going to glue up. Yep. So this is my yeah, yeah, something like this in terms of the pattern. Yeah, for this one. Let me drop this right here. And this one right here. Yeah. So there it goes. This is part of the actual bill that I'm doing. So let me drop this right here. Yeah. Yeah. So that's for that. Then this now, I'm going to cut this piece down to 2 inches for the end grain. So let me see if I have a, yeah. So bring down this a little bit. I'm just cutting down this because tomorrow when I come in from work, I'm actually going to glue up this today, the other piece over there, cut this down, and then I'm going to alternate with both of them to actually get the pattern that I'm looking for. Let me put on my PPE. Let me give a shout out to those who are watching live on the chat. Just want to say hi to Set Time Silvers. Please, or Silvestri. Please bear in mind I wear glasses, so if I pronounce the name incorrectly, it's because I'm not wearing the the correct eyewear. But let's move on this to the pieces that I wanted to do. Yeah. So just giving you a rough idea of what this one is going to look like. I'm just alternating I'm just flipping them to get a different pattern for the top of the cutting board. Yeah, there it is. So far I'm liking the way how this is turning out, but the cutting board that I'm making is supposed to be one that is at least close to 2 feet or 23 inches, a little bit wide. I'm gonna flip this up to, yeah. Definitely like that. Hope you guys are seeing it. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue up this section right here. I'm going to glue it up. So I'm going to take it over to the table that I normally do my glue ups on. So just give me a second, I'll take you over there with me. So this is just to add more width to the table, to the cutting boards that the cutting board that I'm making. So take you over to this table. Follow me guys as I go over to this is my glue up station that I do all my glue ups. Just want to say thanks again for joining on this live. Yeah. So I do this glue up. Yep. Yeah. So this board right here. And come in. Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. Yeah. So I'm also on daddy's duty. So my son is saying that he needs something to, to eat. So I'm just going to do this quick glue up and attend to my daddy's duty. Yeah. So for this glue up, I always use this glue. This is Tight Bond 3. And the reason for that is that this glue is waterproof and also good for exterior and interior use. Super strength, longer assembly time, and water clean. So you can clean it with the water. No, I am not sponsored by Tight Bond, but this has been my go-to glue that I use for my glue ups. So I'm just letting you guys know that if you're looking for a glue to use to do your glue ups, I recommend using Tight Bond 3. So let me apply Oh. Having problem with my glue stuck in the blocking up the channel. Nothing that a little piece of stick won't clear up. Yeah. So let me. This is one of my favorite part of doing woodworking, the glue up part, at least for cutting boards, because there are other glue ups that are more tedious, that requires jigs to make it work for you to get the proper clamping pressure. But for cutting boards, you just need to apply just enough glue to get that proper squeeze out for your cutting boards. So this has been something that I've been using from the other day. Before I used to just use my hands and use the glue all over, but I got this glue brush that I bought off Amazon, and I have to tell you that from the first day that I got it, it has been making my life a lot much easier and make my glue up time a little bit quicker. So if you want to spend at least $9 or $7, whatsoever price you may see, it is really nice to have one of these, to have a glue roller to roll your glues on your projects. And this for me is just another weekend project. I try my best to make something every week. What I'm going to make for you guys on a live is that I normally make letter and key holders, and I have one that I have made couple of. So on a live I'm going to make two different versions of them, or two different versions of the letter and key holder. So I hope that if you're watching live now, you can subscribe to my channel so that and hit the notification bell, as whenever I go live or make a post, you will be able to see what exactly I am making. So there you go, just putting these together. Yeah, let me get this one. This clamp that I normally use, I use this one first to get these things together and keep them. Yeah. This side. So I normally glue the put the clamping pressure on the middle clamp first, and then tighten the two outer clamps. For me, that way it prevents the board from shifting all over the place. So that's the way I've been doing my glue ups since lately. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this to dry for the next couple hours. Maybe tomorrow when I get home from work, I'll initiate the next phase of this build. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me. I know that you have busy schedules and there's a lot you could have been doing on a Sunday, but you took the time out to watch my live to help a small channel grow. Receipt as it. Nice to have you in the chat. Let me say goodbye in a more formal way by showing you guys the face to this channel. As I said, I just want to say thanks to all you guys who took the time out to join with me today as I do this first glow up and also make the next preparation in terms of cutting down this board for the next phase of the cutting board, which I believe it is going to turn out to be a lovely cutting board, unless I have a different idea. But so far I am definitely liking what I'm seeing. And as I said, just want to say thanks. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, that's one major way you can help this channel grow, by hitting the subscribe button. And with heartfelt sincerity, I would greatly appreciate, or in my local slang term from Jamaica, we would say appreciate love. But nice for having you guys again. So until next time when I go live, maybe tomorrow, looking forward to see you guys on my live again. Peace and out. And my word of advice is always this: if you cannot be good, be careful. But at the end of the day, stay safe, especially in the time to which we have come to live. Until then, see you guys next time. Peace and out.